Chapter 76. Alex sat in an expensive hotel in Cerulean City to rest. He took out his TRH device and called Lisa with it. After a few seconds, Lisa answered the call. Lisa. Alex, what is it? Why are you calling me today? Alex heard Lisa's annoyed tone and said, Executive Lisa, I'm sorry if I bothered you, but I wanted to suggest a deal to you. Lisa. A deal. Okay, you have my interest. What is it that you want to make a trade with me? Alex. One of the S-talent Pokemon. Lisa. What, really? Which Pokemon? And what do you want for this Pokemon? Alex. I have an S-talent Butterfree, which is at level 22. As for the exchange, I want 150 liters of Lugia blood and 50 Lugia scales with psychic power. Lisa. What, so much? You have to know that Lugia can't just make Lugia scales with psychic power. If Lugia makes a scale with psychic powers, she can't train any more psychic moves for the rest of the day. It's similar to that of the blood. Her body is weakened when I take 3 liters of blood so that she cannot do any physical training for the whole day. If I sell you that, Lugia will hardly be able to train for 50 days. Alex. Yes, but you will have one more S-talent Pokemon. The only reason why I am completely ready to accept this exchange is that it is a win-win situation. With this amount, there is a good chance that I can improve Kirlia and Crobat's potential. If it works, I will have exchanged one S-talent Pokemon for 2 S-talent Pokemon. What do you think of this deal? Lisa thought for a few seconds and couldn't suppress the attraction of an S-talent Pokemon. As the weakest Team Rocket executive, she needed more talented and powerful Pokemon. She only has Lugia as an SS talent Pokemon. The rest are a talent Pokemon. She knows that if she only has one good Pokemon, even if it's quite strong, she won't get very far. 6 S-talent Pokemon against 1 SS talent is ordinarily not a close battle. She recognized that this deal was already very beneficial and said, okay. I will send you 3 liters of blood and a scale over the TRH device for the next 50 days. Alex, who heard this, couldn't help but grin. He said, thank you very much, Executive Lisa. Can I send you the Pokemon over the TRH device? Lisa. Yes, but it needs to be approved by a Team Rocket executive in order to do it. And I have already unlocked your device. Alex saw how his TRH device had a new option on the screen. He used it quickly and sent the Butterfree to Lisa. A few seconds later, Alex got a message from the TRH device that Lisa had sent items and that it had to be confirmed. Alex confirmed the message, and a few seconds later, a large blood bag and a scale with a purple tinge appeared in front of Alex. Crobat saw the blood bag in Alex's hand and couldn't help but show an excited expression. Alex hoped the Crobat and Kirlia could increase their potential by absorbing these items for the next 50 days. Of course, Alex knows how difficult it is to increase the potential of a Pokemon. Thus he was not sure that it will work for 100%. Alex wasn't thinking about raising the potential of only Kirlia and Crobat. He had already thought about how he could get valuable items for Shieldon and Scizor. With the help of Steven Stone, Alex would have no problem getting valuable items for Rock and Steel-type Pokemon. Steven Stone would soon ascertain that Alex hadn't lied and probably will thank Alex for his help. He will use that chance to buy valuable items from Steven Stone. The only Pokemon where Alex still had no way to improve his potential was Ditto. But he was sure that it won't be long before he can find or buy valuable items for Ditto. Alex wanted to bring Ditto's potential to shallow gold, at least. Alex and his Pokemon had breakfast together. Again, Alex's all Pokemon eat high-quality and delicious Pokemon food, so the atmosphere at breakfast is always good. Of course, Crobat and Scizor are very proud Pokemon who have an indifferent expression during breakfast. Only Kirlia knows that Crobat and Scizor secretly enjoy this time with the family. Alex had planned to stay in Cerulean City for 2 days to sell the 14 silver Pokemon here. He didn't want to miss the chance to make so much money. Later that day, when Alex was training his Pokemon, he got a call from Steven Stone. Steven. Hey, am I talking to Alex? Alex. Hey, Steven. Why are you calling me so late? Steven couldn't suppress his excited voice when he said, Alex, you were right. The 2 stones were really fossils of Omanite and Kabuto. If you hadn't told me that they were fossils, I would probably not have the 2 stones in a laboratory. They also found out that these fossils are intact, and there is a chance to bring these Pokemon back to life. Alex thought, you would have discovered it yourself at some point. Steven kept talking about the fossils until he spoke something that Alex had been waiting for. He said, Alex, I can't thank you enough. If you need any help with Pokemon, I will do my best to help you. Alex smiled and said, really? Thank you, Steven. I really need your help with this one thing. I have raised enough money to buy valuable items that can increase the potential for Shieldon and Scizor. But I couldn't find any valuable items for Rock and Steel type Pokemon that meet my requirements. So I was hoping that you can sell me some high quality items. Steven, no problem Alex. I have exactly the right items you need. I will send them over to you today. Are you still in Cerulean City? Alex, yes, I'm at the Sapphire Hotel. Steven, okay, I'll have the things brought to you in 1 hour. Besides, you don't have to pay for them. See it as a thank you for the tip with the fossil. Alex, thanks, Steven, for the help. But I really have enough money to pay for these items. Steven laughed and said, haha, Alex. You want to give me your money? Don't worry, I'm not short on money. Besides, these fossils are worth a lot more than the items that I am sending you. Don't worry, I am not losing anything. Alex smiled and said, okay, thanks for the help, Steven. You are a good friend. Steven smiled too and said, no problem Alex. Chapter 77. An hour after the conversation between Alex and Steven ended, Alex heard a knock on his door. He opened the door and saw Steven's bodyguard standing in front of him. He looked at Alex and said, hello, I'm Steven Stone's bodyguard. I'm supposed to deliver these items to you. Alex saw him taking out a Pokédex and knew what the man wanted to do. The Pokédex and the TRH device have almost the same functions. This means that the Pokédex can also store items. The man entered Alex's room, and 2 big boxes appeared in Alex's room. The boxes were quite large and had a height similar to that of Alex. Also, when Alex tried to lift the box, he noticed that these boxes were quite hefty. The man said, okay, I'm done with my job. I wish you a nice day. Also, I wanted to apologize for what I said about you last time. Alex knew that he now had a different position as Steve's friend. He said, it's okay. I can understand why you would be skeptical of trainers whom you just came across. The man smiled with a nod and said goodbye. Alex, who said goodbye to the bodyguard, opened one of the 2 boxes. This large box contained 30 individual pieces of steel and 2 lances. There was also a piece of paper attached to the lances. He took a closer look at the 2 lances and realized that these lances came from the Pokemon Escavalier. Alex took the piece of paper and read it. Lances from an S-Talent Escavalier at the champion rank. Also, steel from the same Escavalier. Alex could not help but hold his breath. The champion rank Pokemon is no joke. Only the Pokemon who are at level 60 or higher is considered as champion rank Pokemon. Although champion rank Pokemon is an unattainable rank for normal trainers, it is a minimum for the Elite Four and the champion of the region. Even the weakest Elite Four trainers have at least 3 champion rank Pokemon. In addition, every champion of the region have at least 6 champion rank Pokemon. Every trainer who has 3 champion rank Pokemon is called a champion trainer. There aren't many champion trainers in the Pokemon world, but each of those trainers is considered a one-man army. Getting the corpse of such a Pokemon is extremely difficult. Alex couldn't help but get excited about these items. Scizor saw Escavalier's lances and couldn't help but look greedily at them. He suppressed his instinct to eat these lances. Scizor, who is now a steel-type Pokemon, can eat steel without any difficulty. Alex, who saw this, was curious to see if Scizor will increase his potential when he eats these lances. He said, Scizor, you can eat these lances. Scizor had a joyful expression when he found that he can consume these lances. Alex was shocked at how sharp Scizor's teeth are as he chewed on the steel of the lances like chewing gum. Maybe these lances would be harder to eat if they were still attached to an alive Pokemon. I read that the body of a Pokemon becomes a good deal softer after it dies. Scizor was enjoying this delicious meal when he felt his body getting stronger and stronger. When Scizor finished eating and digested both lances, Alex looked at Scizor's information again. Pokemon. Scizor. LV. 34. Type. Bug, Steel. Abilities. Technician. Gender. Male. Potential. Shallow Gold. Moves. Leer. Quick Attack. Focus Energy. Double Team. Feint. Fury Cutter. Wing Attack. Agility. Slash. Razor Wind. Innate Talent Roost E. Innate Talent Metal Claw. Innate Talent Brick Break. TM Protect. TM Toxic. TM Thief. TM Facade. TM Giga Impact. TM U-Turn. Alex saw that Scizor could not successfully improve his potential and couldn't help but scream out loud, FCK. Are you kidding with me? A corpse of an S-Talent Escavalier on the champion rank is not enough. It is really more arduous to improve the potential of a gold Pokemon than of a silver Pokemon. Maybe when Scizor eats 30 pieces of steel, he can improve his potential. Of course, it is more effective if he eats only one piece of steel per day so that he can absorb the energy of the piece of steel entirely. I hope that at least these 30 pieces of steel would be enough to improve his potential. Quote, Alex suppressed his disappointed expression and opened the other box. The box was a little different from the other box. This box contained 30 steel and 30 rock pieces. Also, it had a big gray steel plate with a piece of paper. Alex read the piece of paper. Steel plate from an S-Talent Aggron on the champion rank. Also, steel and rock from this Aggron. Looking the items that couldn't imagine to have so easily and so soon in such large quantity, Alex thought that he made the right decision to give Steven a favor. Steven, who can get such valuable items so effortlessly, is a really precious friend to have. Without Steven, Alex may have to search for these items for months before he has a chance to find them. And that doesn't mean he would be able to get them so easily in such high quantity. Not to mention, this was free for him. He looked in the direction of Shieldon when he thought, maybe if Shieldon eats the big gray steel plate shortly before he evolves, he can reach Deep Gold. Though probably not. The difficulty of getting a Pokemon from Shallow Gold to Deep Gold is not that easy to overcome. I'm getting so greedy. I'm no longer satisfied with a gold rank Pokemon now. Alex stored the items in his TRH device as he continued to train his Pokemon. He had now more and more self-confidence to get a high rank in this tournament. With a little luck, I might even win it. Though Alex soon started laughing at his own thought. Author note. I'm sure many of you don't understand why Scizor is still not on the gold even though he ate such a rare item. Try to avoid the throwing tomatoes. It has several reasons. In this world it is really not easy to increase the potential of a Pokemon, so that of course Alex also has problems. I don't want it to seem too easy to increase the potential of a Pokemon because it destroys the world a bit. If it's so easy to increase the potential of your Pokemon, why don't most trainers have a gold Pokemon? Although Alex received a corpse of a champion rank Pokemon, which is very, very rare in this world, it does not mean that his Pokemon can automatically advance to a rank. If it is an item from a full-blood legendary Pokemon, it would be something completely different. I think some don't know the big difference between full-blood and half-blood, although I explained it very precisely. It's like a half-god compared to a real god. I really don't want to make Alex weaker unnecessarily, but I am sure that after a few more chapters most people will have understood why I did it that way. Chapter 78. A young man with a Kirlia next to him was slowly walking down the streets of Celadon City. This young man suddenly saw a red cap that looked familiar to him. He looked at this red cap for a few seconds before buying it for 10 Pokédollars. When he wore the red cap, the young man felt like he suddenly became a lot cooler. Kirlia looked at her trainer, who was so happy to wear a boring red cap, and was confused. The cap doesn't look particularly good or cool to her. It's just a red cap. Of course, the young man who bought this red cap was Alex, who came to Celadon City 14 days ago. He used Crobat as a flying mount to get from Cerulean City to Celadon City comfortably. Alex flew over a forest that could not be entered in the games and was only seen from the map. In this world, there are no limits so that Alex can theoretically enter this forest if he wants to. Alex was curious about this forest at the beginning and wanted to cross this forest on foot, but when he found out more and more about this forest, he decided against it. This forest is called the Royal Forest and has a lot of valuable items, Pokemon that are sought out by all trainers. As the name of the forest suggests, you can find and catch the 3 royal Pokemon of Kanto from here. The 3 royal Pokemon of Kanto are, of course, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. Each region has 3 royal Pokemon who have this name because of their roots to noble trainers who often owned one of the 3 royal Pokemon. But this is not the main reason these Pokemon are called that. The main reason is that every royal Pokemon has a minimum of a talent, and no royal Pokemon has ever been found with a lower potential than that. That makes each of these Pokemon particularly valuable and popular among trainers. So why did Alex fly over this forest that has so many valuable items and Pokemon? The reason was simple. The Royal Forest has another name. The Trainer Grave. All those trainers who enter this forest don't come out of it alive or unscathed. Even elite trainers are not safe in this forest. Alex, who knows this, is not arrogant enough to think that he can safely get through this forest. Because he has a Pokemon with teleport. He knows that he's not the only trainer who has a Pokemon that can use teleport. If such trainers can frequently die in this forest, it shows that Alex's escape plan may not work well in this forest. He looked for information on why and how these trainers died but couldn't find anything in particular. Most of the trainers appeared to have been killed by surprise attacks. Even elite trainers had the same fate. Alex, who did not have enough information about this forest, would of course not try to enter this forest out of greed. Maybe when he is more powerful and knows more about this forest, he will come to this forest. Alex was having dinner with his Pokemon in an expensive hotel for trainers in Celadon City. The next day would be the registration day for trainers who want to take part in the Kanto Rookie Tournament, which was going to start in 3 days. Alex's Pokemon have trained hard to get a little stronger before this tournament. Alex was quite contented with the results. Pokemon. Crobat, LV. 35. Type. Poison, Flying. Abilities. Inner Focus. Gender. Male. Potential. Shallow Gold. Moves. Absorb, Supersonic, Astonish, Bite, Wing Attack, Confuse Ray, Swift, Haze, Leech Life, Mean Look. Innate Talent, Shadow Ball E. Innate Talent, Fly E. Innate Talent, Cross Poison. TM Protect, TM Toxic, TM Sludge Bomb, TM Facade, TM Taunt. Pokemon. Scizor, LV. 35. Type. Bug, Steel. Abilities. Technician, Gender. Male, Potential. Gold, Moves. Leer, Quick Attack, Focus Energy, Double Team, Feint, Fury Cutter, Wing Attack, Agility, Slash, Razor Wind. Innate Talent Roost E. Innate Talent Metal Claw E. Innate Talent Brick Break. TM Protect, TM Toxic, TM Thief, TM Facade, TM Giga Impact, TM U-Turn. Pokemon. Kirlia, LV. 30. Type. Psychic Fairy. Abilities. Telepathy. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Gold. Move. Growl. Confusion. Double Team. Teleport. Disarming Voice. Lucky Chant. Magical Leaf. Heal Pulse. Draining Kiss. Psychic. Innate Talent Disable E. Innate Talent Calm Mind E. Innate Talent Dazzling Gleam. TM Protect. TM Shadow Ball. TM Will-O-Wisp. TM Thunderbolt. TM Thunder Wave. TM Helping Hand. Pokemon. Ditto. LV. 32. Type. Normal. Abilities. Imposter Hidden Ability. Gender. Genderless. Potential. Shallow Silver. Move. Innate Talent Transform E. Pokemon. Shieldon. LV. 21. Type. Rock, Steel. Abilities. Sturdy. Gender. Male. Potential. Shallow Gold. Move. Protect. Tackle. Taunt. Metal Sound. Takedown. Iron Defense. Innate Talent Rock Polish E. Innate Talent Sleep Talk. Innate Talent Flamethrower. A lot had happened in these 14 days. Alex, who was now closer to becoming rich, still a long way to go, didn't skip on training equipment and training items like Energy Root and thus managed to make training more effective. Alex spent 70,000 Pokédollars in 14 days on training equipment and training items alone. Although it doesn't look like much because Alex has so much money, it is a ridiculous amount for normal and even rich trainers for just 14 days. Maybe, Only the true rich trainers like Steven Stone would have higher expenses in 14 days than Alex. But Alex didn't regret spending so much money to make his Pokemon faster. Alex would even pay 10,000 Pokédollars per day for a few % faster growth. Alex, who is now on the land of this new world, knows how strength is much more important than money. If you are strong enough, you can get money easily, but if you are rich, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are strong. In these 12 days, Alex trained the body of the Pokemon and a move for each Pokemon. Because Alex knew that he only had time to get one move per Pokemon to the expert rank, he decided to train each of his Pokemon's most important move for 14 days. In this world, most of the trainers usually train the body of the Pokemon much more than the move's mastery. Although this is not necessarily wrong, Alex thinks that it is relatively ineffective to train his Pokemon like this. For Alex, the Pokemon body training is the base for all other types of Pokemon training. For example, if you're training punches from a battle Pokemon, each move of punches will do a little more damage. The move that Alex chose for his Pokemon are Crobat, Fly, Kirlia, Calm Mind, Scizor, Metal Claw, Shieldon, Rock Polish, Ditto. Lol. Not only had the move's mastery improved these last days, but also the potential of a Pokemon. Scizor, who now eats the steel from the Escavalier every day, was able to successfully increase his potential in 11 days. This showed that the Escavalier's lances were not completely useless and made it easier for Scizor to increase his potential. Compared to him, Crobat, who drinks the blood of Lugia every day, showed no signs of increasing his potential. Chapter 79. Alex noticed how much easier it was to increase the potential of a Pokemon during their evolution. He could not help but wistfully think of Zubat's first evolution. If Alex had better items back then, Crobat might also have reached gold potential by now. He felt a little guilty about wasting Crobat's potential. Although he didn't have any good Pokemon items at that point, he couldn't hold back this feeling. Alex knows that poor trainers often dispose of their first Pokemon when they find a better Pokemon. For example, a poor trainer's first Pokemon is usually a normal potential Pokemon that he trains for months. After this poor trainer has trained his normal potential Pokemon to sufficient strength, this trainer will find many ways to buy and catch Pokemon with bronze or even silver potential with luck. After this poor trainer has more and more Pokemon that have much better potential than his starter Pokemon, he'll often throw away his starter Pokemon like trash. Although cruel, it is often the case with most Pokemon trainers. These trainers see Pokemon only as tools that can be replaced at any time. Alex, who sees his Pokemon as a family, despises such trainers very much. He doubts that the really strong trainers would treat their Pokemon that way. Even Giovanni from Team Rocket treats his Pokemon very well, as you can easily see that he will Mega Evolve his starter Pokemon Beedrill in the future. This shows that he and his Pokemon have a special connection. Celadon City Arena. Alex walked to the registration office for contestants from the hotel where he stayed over. He only had to walk a few minutes before he saw a line in front of the registration office. More than 30 trainers lined up in a row and waited for their turn. Alex noticed that even if the line was a bit long, it only took 50 to 70 seconds before the next person's turn came. So Alex didn't have to wait long before his turn came. After 40 minutes, it was Alex's turn to move in front of the registration office. A beautiful woman around 30 years old looked at Alex and said with a smile, "Hello, please give me your ID card." Alex, who knew that only Alliance trainers can take part in this tournament, gave this woman his ID card. The woman put the card on the scanner for a second before handing it back to Alex. She said with a smile, "Do you want a normal registration or the seed spot registration?" Trainers who register for this tournament have two different types of registration. With normal registration, you can take part in the tournament free of charge. To register as seed spot, the trainer has to meet two requirements. 1. His/her 3 Pokemon must have an average level of 30. 2. He/she has to pay a fee of 1,000 Pokédollars. But the trainer who registers this way has a great advantage. Seed participants will not fight against other seed participants in the preliminary round. And because almost all the strong participants are seed participants, you won't have to worry about strong opponent in the preliminary round. Although it is not suitable for normal trainers, this rule makes sense for Alex. If there wasn't such an option, the two strongest trainers in the tournament could end up against each other in the preliminary round due to bad luck. With this option, the strongest trainers will only meet in later rounds of the tournament. Alex said, "I want to register for the seed place." The woman looked at Alex and said, "Okay. Please put your 3 Pokémon that are going to participate in the tournament on this machine." Alex put the Pokeballs of Crobat, Scizor, and Kirlia on the machine. This machine looked similar to the one from the Pokecenter. The beautiful woman looked on the screen with Alex's Pokemon's data and said with a smile, "Good, your Pokemon's average level is LV 33.33. You are entitled to get a seed place. Here is your participant number. If you have any questions about the rules or the schedule of the tournament, you can visit our website for the Kanto Rookie Tournament. I wish you a nice day." Alex took the participant number that showed the number 68 and made way for the next person. He looked thoughtfully at this machine as he left. He had read on the internet that this machine can not only discover the level of a Pokémon but also whether the Pokémon is from this train or not. How exactly does this machine know who is the trainer of a certain Pokémon? How exactly is it determined that a Pokémon is of the trainers and not of someone else? No matter how I think about it, there is no logical answer to it. Well, at least the participants cannot cheat due to this machine by competing with a strong Pokémon of another trainer. Alex sat down at a quiet restaurant and ordered something to eat. While waiting for his meal, he took out his TRH device and opened the page of the Kanto Rookie Tournament. Alex looked at the website and looked at the rules. 1. The participants and the participants' Pokémon are forbidden to attack other participants. 2. Pokémon are forbidden to kill or mutilate other Pokémon. 3. Participants are prohibited from using other Pokémon than they have registered. 4. If a Pokémon passes out or if the trainer of the Pokémon gives up, that Pokémon will be considered lost. Alex skipped the obvious rules. No need to list all the logical rules. 15. In the preliminary round, the participants will fight 1 vs 1. When there are only 64 participants left, 2 vs 2 fights will be used as the format. The format 3 vs 3 will be used for the round of top 16. 16. Items are held. Items are prohibited for use. 17. The participant may change his Pokémon only once per battle. 18. The Pokémon of both participants may not go deeper than 5 meters under the ground or fly over 15 meters permanently. Also, the participants or the Pokémon are not allowed to leave the battle arena during battle. After Alex had gone through the rules and eaten his food, he went to the hotel to prepare his Pokémon for the tournament that will start in 2 days. Chapter 80. 2 days later, Alex opened the website of the Kanto Rookie Tournament on the TRH device. He clicked on the tournament tree to see if the details of his battle today. Registration ended yesterday, so the tournament tree was now visible to all participants. Alex was surprised to find that there were more than 500 participants in this tournament. But he had to admit that this tournament was really tempting for rookie trainers of Kanto. You can register for free, and if you manage to get into the top 64, you can win valuable items. He went to the tournament tree to see who he has to fight today. Contestant No. 487, Pokémon. Doduo LV20, Doduo LV22, Pidgeotto LV20. Alex saw that even Shieldon can defeat the strongest Pokémon and was a bit disappointed. Although it is good to have a weak opponent, it will hardly help Kirlia gain strength if she defeats such a weak opponent. Celadon City Arena. Alex sat in the waiting room for the participants for the F block and waited for his turn. After half an hour, Alex saw his number on the screen. He went in the direction of the F block arena with his participant number and ID card. As he entered the arena, he saw several trainers fighting in different blocks. The Celadon City Arena was humongous and was surrounded by numerous spectator seats. Imagine a football stadium. Alex looked around curiously when he entered this arena. Although the spectator seats are empty because the tournament has not yet started, this arena was really spectacular. He knew that the tournament will officially begin only in 2 days with 64 participants. When he went to the F block, he immediately saw the F block referee standing by the battlefield. The referee was a young man with blonde hair. Alex greeted him and showed him his participant number and ID card. The referee checked Alex's identity and confirmed his presence. If the participant does not manage to get into this arena within 15 minutes, the participant will lose the fight. After just a few minutes, Alex saw a youthful child who looked like a 13-year-old kid. The expression of this child was very nervous when he showed the referee his ID and participant number. This child also seemed to know the strength of Alex's Pokemon. Thus he hardly had any hope of winning this fight. He just hoped this fight could give his Pokemon a good experience. The blonde referee made a hand gesture to indicate that both participants should call out their Pokemon. Alex took the Pokeball and called out Kirlia on the battlefield. The child did the same. Pokemon. Doduo. LV. 22. Type. Normal, flying. Abilities. Early bird. Gender. Female. Potential. Deep bronze. Move. Growl. Peck. Quick attack. Rage. Fury attack. Agility. TM. Protect. The referee said. Both trainers ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Alex looked at the child when he said emotionlessly, calm mind and teleport as soon as he tries to attack you. The child said at the same time with a nervous voice, Doduo, use agility. After only a few seconds, Kirlia had used calm mind, while Doduo was still trying to use agility quickly. Alex saw how long this Doduo took and said, Kirlia use psychic and end this fight. The kid screamed loudly, Doduo, use quick attack to evade. Alex, who heard this, couldn't help but look at this child with an appreciative look. Although this kid wasn't strong, he was not really weak for a rookie trainer. You can even say that he was very talented for a trainer his age. He also understands how to make decisions instantly and make most of his situation in order to have a chance to win this fight. Unfortunately, you are too weak to have a chance, thought Alex when he saw how Doduo couldn't dodge Kirlia's attack with quick attack. Doduo, who had a terrible HP and SP. Def stat of 35 passed out immediately. The referee shouted, Participant 487 Pokemon passed out. Participant 68 won this round. The child saw how easily his Pokemon was defeated and suppressed his grief as he healed his Pokemon with a potion. Alex, who knew that this child does not have a lot of money, so he can only use potion even though it is not ideal for such an injury. The kid has really good potential. It's a shame that he hardly has any money to utilize his potential. Later, I would need talented subordinates whom I can trust. This child can be a useful subordinate in the future. But I have to become friends with him first before I can decide whether he is a good option or not. Alex quickly put on his friendly face as he walked in the direction of the child. The child looked at Alex with a confused expression as he was walking in his direction. Alex said with a friendly smile, Hey, kid. Nice fight. My name is Alex, and I was really impressed with your talent in this fight. The kid looked at Alex to determine if Alex was serious about what he just said. It sounded very ridiculous to him when his Pokemon couldn't even take on a single attack. Even though he knew that his Pokemon was stronger than that and that his Pokemon had good talent, he wasn't entirely sure if Alex was being earnest with the compliment. When he saw that Alex's tone wasn't that of mocking, he said, Oh, thank you. My name is Fran, and this is my first time in a tournament. Alex and Fran talked to each other as they left the arena to make room for the next participants. By talking to Fran, Alex was able to roughly understand Fran's circumstances. Fran's mother and father were regular Alliance members and not trainers. So Fran became the first Alliance trainer of his family. Even though Fran's family wasn't rich, they could just about afford to finance Fran's dream. After the conversation, Alex and Fran exchanged contacts and went their separate ways. For Alex, Fran was not an ideal subordinate because he was still too friendly and had too many goodwills for the Alliance. He also had a family that could influence him. Fran wasn't talented enough for Alex to ignore the drawbacks. Alex went to a restaurant near the Celadon City Arena for something to eat. After 2 hours, Alex had his next fight. As far as he knows, he must win 2 more rounds in order to enter the top 64.